trucks built to serve.
Back here, first things first, now joined by former Pro Bowl linebacker Bart Scott, who somehow, some way, has got a lot to say this morning. I feel like you're bubbling over with anticipation.
I got my man Chris Canty here. You know, we be doing those gymnastics, those schematic gymnastics. So I'm ready to go.
Gymnastics.
We're not gonna talk about it here or maybe at all on today's show. But if you live in the New York area, you had the pleasure of watching Bart Scott eviscerate a franchise he once played for in the New York Jets. Now that will recap our full Jets commentary on the show today. However, if you live in New York, check it out.
Long story short, big bag.
Both teams played hard.
Yeah, both teams played hard. Good looking haircut too, Bart Scott. Trimmed it down a little bit.
I wasn't able to put the juice and berries in there today, yeah.
Well, we now went to place. All right, let's talk about your other former team, the Ravens. Lamar Jackson put on a show against the previously undefeated Patriots last night. Lamar accounting for 3 touchdowns, 224 combined rushing and passing yards. Ravens, as a team, had 210 rushing yards. That's the most against the Patriots since 2014. Here's Lamar after handing the Patriots their first loss.
I feel like our team already knew what we was capable of, you know. We just had to show it, and we did that tonight. We just have to build off that. You know, we can't just get on our high horse, feel like, you know, we just won the Super Bowl because we did it. That's just one regular season game. We got to continue to build.
Bart, how did the Baltimore Ravens beat the New England Patriots last night?
Well, they hit him in the mouth, first of all, and don't let the RPOs fool you. It's a power running game, a gap scheme where, you know, they have 3 tight ends on there and they're able to get movement. Usually the Patriots sit in that odd front, and you can't get movement. They 2-gap and they just stand there. They become shields for those linebackers to come downhill. But they put the defensive linemen on the island, and they also put the linebackers on the island because you don't see that. So, you know, remember when the Wildcat first came in, it makes people freeze and pause. And then when you don't block a defensive lineman, he's like, whoa, whoa, I'm about to get wham blocked. So he freezes. That's all you need. You need that 1 second of hesitation for the Ravens to get the angles. And so what you saw is you saw the motions running away from the down safeties, and they were able to expose the Patriots' lack of team speed. When you look on that side of the ball, they have great, you know, linebackers in Jamie Collins and Dante Hightower, but they're big, they're bruisers downhill. They want to funnel everything. But when you're able to expose the edges, you're able to use the speed, and it's just more of a personnel thing. And what they did on defense, they brought in a bunch of DBs. And listen, when they went out and got Peters and, you know, Jimmy Smith and Carr, it was to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was also to beat the New England Patriots because you saw complex coverages by Wink Martindale, and what they were doing is robbing. And because the Patriots don't have Devlin, they can't just put a fullback there and bludgeon them when they go with that light personnel. So they're able to play complex coverage that's able to make Tom Brady pause just for a second.
Well, that's it. Listen, you broke down very in the complex terms what happened, and I appreciate that because you're seeing it through eyes that I don't have as far as how they did it. What they did was whoop them. Yeah. On both sides of the ball repeatedly. And to me, there were 2 moments, 2 separate moments, one Patriots offense, one Patriots defense, that were indicative of what we were going to see in this football game. Patriots offense into the first half, when New England is back in this game thanks to 2 brutal mistakes by Baltimore. Right. They have a 1st and goal from the 6. They have opportunity, run it, run it, run it, run it. 4 runs, try to get 6 yards. They pass on 1st down. They pass on 2nd down. They don't run it until 3rd down. On 3rd down, they get 5 yards. They damn near get the touchdown. And what does Belichick do right before the half? Can't trust our guys to get the 18 inches we need. Kick the field goal. And then in the second half. So that's, to me, very unpatriot-like.
Right. That is Belichick conceding that the Baltimore Ravens are the more physical team.
Are the bigger, stronger team at that moment. I think that lack of Devlin, the offensive line injuries play into that. And then to the second half, there's, to me, a very key moment where you see the Ravens. It's a 24-20 game. They have 3rd and 5. And Lamar drops back 18 yards, David Andrews, with a perfect pass. Right. Same drive, 4th and 4. Baltimore, no, we're keeping our offense on the field. Willie Snead gets 7 yards. What you're going to see on these 2 plays, these are the moments the Patriots have made their money the last, I don't know, 20 years in either direction. Either they force the other team off the field, and keep in mind the context of the game there, where the Ravens defense has been on the field forever because they scored a defensive touchdown. They had done all this. And then the 4th and 4. The Patriots are the team that either picks those up on offense or they stop them on defense. They did none of those things. The Ravens played the Patriot game plan far better than the Patriots could yesterday.
Yeah, they played mistake-free football, and you didn't even bring up the blown coverage that the Pats had where Seth Roberts is in the end zone
and Lamar
wide
didn't
open.
see him.
Absolutely. But, I mean, the Patriots couldn't have scripted a better start to that game yesterday. And through the first 16 minutes, the Ravens couldn't have scripted a better start. Through the first 16 minutes of that game, 17-0 lead, and then the fact that on the first 3 Pats possessions, you essentially forced 3 3-and-outs.
Yep.
I mean, I talked about the importance of 3 consecutive 3-and-outs. That's the equivalent of a turnover when it comes to the probability scale of you being able to win a football game. So the Ravens dictated the complexion of what last night's game would look like from an execution standpoint, but also from a physicality standpoint. And Bart, we both worked in that building down there, and you know that all the signs are up in that building that talk about building a bully. And that's exactly what the Baltimore Ravens did yesterday. They went out and they bullied the New England Patriots. And you got to give credit to Ozzie Newsome and Eric DeCosta, the general managers down there in Baltimore, for having the conviction to draft a player like Lamar Jackson.
And having to convince everyone that he was the right pick for them.
Well, here's the thing. Not having to convince everybody and having confidence in what you're doing and building a system around him. They didn't have to explain that to anybody. They decided they were going to go this direction after having a Super Bowl winning quarterback underperform for several seasons. I think they only made the playoffs once since Joe Flacco won that Super Bowl. They had to pivot as an organization, and they believed in Lamar Jackson, and they built this entire team, not just the offense, the entire team, to complement what Lamar Jackson does well.
Not only what he does well, but what he did well against a defense that many of us called was the best we've seen in years, if not ever. What he was able to do to pick apart that defense, talk about how impressive that was.
Well, it wasn't, it was not tested. We saw Cleveland run the ball well right down their throat. So we saw that they can be ran against. But when you go against the Patriots, and you understand it because you were in 2 buildings that didn't have a healthy fear of them. Right, so all week they believe and expect to win in Baltimore because they've had success against this scheme. And what I saw was a wealth of knowledge gathered over Ray Lewis' time there, my time there, Chris' time there, understanding that the Patriots have certain staples and concepts that you must understand and take away. Everybody knows when you go from empty back to the running back in the backfield, what that play. Everybody understands that you can take Edelman out, you can put Wes Welker there. It's the same concepts with the over routes. That's why they had Earl Thomas on the other side grabbing Brady's eyes, understanding what conceptually was coming because they understand that the Patriots are more about execution than they are about trying to trick you mentally. And what you saw is a team that was able to really get on top early and really expose some of the weaknesses of that team. But it takes a special talent like Lamar Jackson. Not every team can do that. But what I witnessed is Bill Belichick taking inventory that when they play again, it's going to be different. We remember last year because now he's seen it. And you saw that the change of pace, the no huddle, and then you also saw when they came out, they had the no huddle part of it. But then what they did is with the Chargers went all DBs.
Yep.
They have to get team speed, but then because the Ravens personnel is so big, then they hit you in the mouth, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And then one last point on Lamar. Because we knew all the numbers going into it. First, second-year quarterbacks had lost 21 straight against Belichick and Brady. It should be noted that while that stat's accurate, it's a little misleading.
Yeah.
Prior to that 21-game winning streak, you know what rookie quarterback beat him? Russell Wilson. He's awesome. You know what rookie quarterback, before he tore his ACL, drove down the field and put his team in the lead before the defense lost it? Deshaun Watson 2 years ago. And you know what second-year quarterback had fourth-quarter lead against New England 2 separate times in 2 separate games last year? Patrick Mahomes.
Mobile quarterback.
So mobile, dynamic quarterbacks have given them problems. The Patriots offense has been able to overcome that. And so sometimes it's like, oh, these quarterbacks don't have success, or sometimes it's been they haven't had a defense to pair with it. Last night, the Ravens had defense to pair with it. Lamar was sensational, and this was a mismatch, at least yesterday it was.
First quarter, the Patriots only had 5 plays, and it was 209 in the first quarter. Taking them off the field, making Brady have to sit and watch is the best defense.
Didn't Lamar go in the same draft as Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, it was
Did Baker go when he went
first pick overall,
Lamar.
second pick overall.
Bart, stick around. Coming up, we're going to talk about Baker. Did he and the Browns hit rock bottom? That's next on First Things First. I was transitioning. That's what I was trying to do.